Hello, everyone. This is Mayor Lionel Jordan bringing another segment of the Mayor's Corner. Today we have Harley Hunt, our fire marshal for the city of Fayetteville. He's going to give you a little information about what a fire marshal does and some of the things that help you help prevent fires in your home, keep your home safe. So, Harley, maybe you'd like to tell the folks a little bit about what your office does and some of the stuff that how people can get involved with y'all.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me, Mayor. Our office is in charge of several different things. We're in charge of public education in the city. We do. We're also in charge of all the investigations. We investigate all the fires in the city. We're also in charge of plan review and plat review and stuff like that. We work real close with the planning division, and so in the building permit process and stuff like that. A little bit about myself. I grew up right outside of town here in Farmington. My dad's a builder here in town, and my mom teaches school, and so they're still around. I've got 3 kids, and my wife teaches school as well. My kids are 8, 6, and 3, and so they're fun. And we live in Prairie Grove. I've been here with the city working on 15 years, and recently took over as battalion chief in the fire marshal's office in November, and so it's been a big change for me, but it's been fun. And prior to that, I had been a captain on a truck for almost 8 years, and enjoyed that time, and enjoyed just learning this whole new job that I've started. So got some good people in our office, and I'm fortunate to have that help and have be surrounded with some folks that can kind of work me through the process. So anyway.
And I understand. Well, let's talk a little bit. When somebody decides to bring in a new business and they have to meet a certain code, is that correct? Isn't that part of something that you do? So how exactly, if I want to open up a new business and I contact the fire department, what would be the process I would go through, and what would you all do?
Right. If you're going to put in a new business, your first contact would probably be with Development Services, and then we work right with Development Services in that if this business requires, let's say you're going to put in a restaurant, and formerly this building that you bought was a
warehouse.
Warehouse wasn't a business. It was not a restaurant previously. You'll have to go through the planning process with Development Services. Our office will look at this drawing that you have or proposal that you have, and we will look at that against the Arkansas Fire Code, and we will determine whether it meets the standards of the Arkansas Fire Code. You know, for instance, if it's a restaurant, we're talking about things like vent hood systems, extinguishable vent hood systems, fire alarm systems, all your exit lighting, emergency lighting, life safety things is what we really are in charge of looking at. The structural components are building safeties kind of deal. We're looking for life safety things when we review plans and stuff. And so you can contact our office directly as well. Typically, you would start the process over at Development Services, and then they would look at what you have and say, oh, the fire marshal needs to approve this, and so it would get sent over to us, and we would look at that. If you're going to put like a big development in, like these big apartment complexes that are coming in, we have meetings months and months and months in advance with these folks to talk about the special city ordinance requirements and the fire code, and make sure that we're all on the same page with what we're going to be requiring them to do, you know, when they come to our city. And so it seems to work well.
Well, let's say that, you know, say a business catches on, or a home catches on fire, a business catches on fire. You go and investigate what the causes of that fire was, correct?
That's correct.
And let's just say something occurs. What would be the first steps you would do when you get to a fire scene?
Okay. Typically, the way it works, fire units will respond to the fire scene. They get there. They've determined that we need a fire marshal. We're going to need an investigation on this fire. We investigate about 100 fires a year. so they would call us. We get dispatched through our central dispatch center here in Fayetteville. They'll send us a text message on our phones. That's how we get sent. We'll show up to the scene, and I'll make contact with the on-scene commander and tell them we're here. Our process will start in that we'll document the whole scene with photographs and stuff. Then we'll kind of start our investigation, and we'll look into really determining two things: the origin of the fire and the cause of the fire. Those are two separate things, and that's really what we're focused on trying to find. And it's a systematic method. You do the same way you're going to investigate a trash can on fire as you are a warehouse completely burning. You have to be systematic. It has to be the same way every time. It lends to the credibility of that investigation. So, we would start the same way we would start every other investigation. There's a lot of components to it. From a homeowner perspective, from a citizen perspective, things you need to be that I will be talking with you about during our investigation are, your insurance company, getting them involved, getting some help with the cleanup, and also we get Red Cross out there. If you don't have a place to stay, if you don't have family in town, and if your residence is, you can't live in it anymore, then we'll get Red Cross. We have some other agencies that help us out, so I'll get them out there, and we'll try to help get you some housing. But that investigation report that we'll compile will help your insurance company in determining whether it was or wasn't your fault or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then some cases go to court. We prosecute those as well.
Right.
So it's a busy deal.
Say somebody wants to they want to burn some brush or they want to have a burn. What is their process for doing that? I know you all handle that as well.
We do. We give out, we issue burn permits in the city. It is allowable in the city to burn certain materials, yard waste, limbs, basic tree removal stuff, leaves. You can't burn lumber. You can't burn any kind of a building material or stuff like that. But the process goes in that you call.
Can't burn trash.
Can't burn trash. No trash. Absolutely. It's yard, what I call yard debris, limbs, leaves, branches, things like that. During the ice storm time and after, we had a lot of people doing that in the city to clean their yards up. But the process goes in that you would call our non-emergency number, which we have two of those. One is 442-6131. The other one is 575-8365. And you call one of those two numbers. We're in the phone book. If the city is currently under a burn ban that day, then we couldn't issue you a permit. But if we're not under a burn ban and you're burning legal materials, we'll issue you a permit. That permit's good for 1 day.
But they do need to call.
But they have to call. We'll issue a permit number, and if what you're burning is legal, then you're fine. There's some regulations involved there. You have to have it out by dark. It can't be unattended, but there are ways that folks can clean their own yards and do that legally. So.
Okay. Now I know there's a lot of people are interested in how they keep their homes safe from fire. So what are some of the tips for the homeowners out there and businesses?
Yeah, we're starting a Firewise program. Starting it back. We've had it in the city prior. We're starting it back here this summer. We feel like it's important to educate folks about how to keep their house safe from wildland fire. The trend over the last couple years is we're really dry, we're really hot. As far as the underbrush, and so our risk is increasing every year. And so some tips we can do, we want to create a defensible space around your house. That's key. We all love our shade trees, and that's really not what we're talking about. We're talking about bushes, shrubs, in the conifers, these type of vegetation that is super, it's just like gasoline on a stick. I mean, it just is, it very, very dangerous. And so what we're trying to do is clean out the underbrush. You know, if you've got vegetation grown up against the house, limbs are still down, you know, that's the stuff we need to have cleared out. And that's what we're trying to educate people how to do. We're going to have some work days this year where we can hopefully organize with some of these homeowners associations and community groups and help organize some cleanup days. We like to see a 30-foot defensible space all around your house. So we're not saying cut your trees down, but however, some types of trees are worse than others. We don't have a big problem with fire reaching up into the tops of these trees and jumping across like you see out west, where they're just solid pine trees. And these oaks and hardwoods don't burn like that. What's the real danger is the underbrush. And so that's what we need to, that's what we're trying to focus on with clearing out. And so what you're going to see us doing over the next couple months is we're going to be out surveying some houses and areas, not necessarily houses in specific, but regions of the city, putting them on a map and basically, along with the Forestry Service help, kind of grading those areas from high risk to low risk. And based on those areas of risk, you know, that's where we're going to focus our efforts of education and prevention there. So, we're going to be hearing more about this program in the next few months, and so if you have any questions about it, feel free to call our office, and you know, we can help however.
Super. So, any final comments today? Contact numbers for the folks out there?
My number in the Fire Marshal's office is 718-7639. That's my office phone number. If you have a question or concern about a code compliance issue, about a business or place that you live or work that's unsafe in regard to fire stuff, then you would call us. So feel free to contact us anytime.
All right.
So,
well, Harley, it was wonderful having you on the show today.
Appreciate it.
Folks, as you can see, the Fire Marshal's office in the city of Fayetteville is very, very busy. So if you're starting a business, you want to know some of the fire codes, you contact Fire Marshal's office. If you're a resident and you want to know how to make your house more fire resistant, safe from any kind of shorts and underbrush and things like, call Fire Marshal. Harley be glad to talk to you. So if you have any questions, be sure you contact them. You have their contact number. So folks, until I see you again, you have a great day. I'll see you real soon.